Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of Pitch Cafe podcast. Today we have with us basically a superhuman Toastmaster. Let me tell you why I call this gentleman a superhuman Toastmaster. He is a member of 12 Toastmaster clubs, and it's hard enough to be a part of one Toastmaster club and reach your goals. So this gentleman is a member of 12 different Toastmaster clubs. Before that, what is Toastmasters? All of you who are interested in improving their communication and public speaking skills, the very first word, if you look around in your community, is Toastmasters. It's a huge worldwide network of public speakers and leaders who follow a certain format and host their meetings, and who have a certain way of mentoring people to improve communication skills and also team building and leadership skills. Go check out toastmasters.org and discover what you can do with these skills yourself. But before that, let's talk more about our host today. His name is Abhijeet Joshi, and he has a very eye-opening perspective on Toastmasters. He looks at it as a way of giving back, breaking the bubble, moving your skills to the next level. And what I liked most about him when I spoke with him was how he's giving these skills to different people. He has mentored at least 60 people now. And let's learn more about whether or not each of us can be a good public speaker. Does communication skill come only to few people, or can everyone be a communicator? Does everybody have that capacity? What is Abhijeet's take on it? Let's find out. Abhijeet, welcome to Pitch Cafe podcast.
Thank you for having me, Vida.
Fantastic. So Abhijeet, let's get started with the thing which really wows me. You're a member of 12 Toastmasters clubs. Tell us why you decided to be a member of 12 different clubs, and what do you do in each of these clubs?
Actually, when I look back at it, things slowly happened. When I started out for the first year of my Toastmasters, I was just a member of one club. But one thing I learned immediately is you learn faster if you go to different clubs. From my second speech onwards, I started becoming a guest speaker at different clubs. And I felt that was the changing point, because every time I went, there is a different audience. I have to get used to them and I have to speak. So I felt that was the changing point. But a year later, I realized that I was growing, but not at the pace I wanted. What happened was, it was February 9th, 2020. I met the world champion, Darren LaCroix. He was giving a keynote. After the keynote, I just talked to him. I said, there's an international speech contest, and I don't want to take part in it. But one thing he said would change my life. He said, always go for more stage time, more stage time, more stage time. And from that onwards, in last years, I've spoken more than 200 times. It was all because of him. And then I started looking for clubs which can add more value to me. And the journey started.
Wow. So Abhijeet, this is a really fascinating journey. So there was one mentor who came and asked you to get more stage time, and it changed your life. You are a mentor to 60 different people who are struggling with public speaking and communication skills. Do you think all of us can become good public speakers, and why? And what is your greatest learning by mentoring these 60 different people?
I feel anyone can be a good public speaker. Mm-hmm. What we need is a strong foundation. I'm very thankful to my mentors who helped me to really start out strong. Mm-hmm. I used to write my script and then show it to my mentors, and they will edit it. Once they edited it, I'll incorporate that feedback. Mm-hmm. And then I would practice it like more than 35 times before I give it on the stage. Mm-hmm. That practice really helped me to hone my message whenever I'm giving a speech. So I feel anyone can be a good public speaker, as soon as the main thing is they should be ready to put in that effort.
Mm-hmm. And what do you tell your mentees? You have coached like 60 mentees. What was it like? What kind of problems did they face? How did you get them out of it?
So everyone is a different level. So we want to come to their level and see what do they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just started out with this new mentor, Arun. He's in India and he's really dedicated. Like for his first speech, we had more than 5 or 6 edits for his first icebreaker, and he's ready to put in that effort and hone his message. So if the mentee is ready, I'm ready to take them to their level. It's what they want to do. I can help them achieve their goals.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you just told me about Arun. He seems like a beginner.
Yes.
What is your experience with slightly more advanced speakers?
Like slightly more advanced speaker. Like there was one of my mentee, Renee. She was a really good speaker. We were in the same club, and she was in the evaluation competition. In our club, we had the evaluation competition. I came in first, she came in second. But I knew she is a really good evaluator. So I said, Renee, I'm going to represent another club. I want you to go ahead and represent our club.
Wow.
She went into quarterfinals. She won the quarterfinals. Then we started meeting regularly. We wanted to really hone our evaluations. She won the semifinals. And once she won the semifinals, then we took our practice to the next level. We used to meet. We used to watch a speech together. She used to have 5 minutes to give an evaluation. Mm-hmm. After 5 minutes, she would give the evaluation. I will give a feedback to her. Mm-hmm. And then she would incorporate that. Then we'll go to another speech. Wow. So like this, we did total 17 times. Yes. And when she went into the finals, her evaluation was so good. She won the district finals.
Wow. That is something, going from quarterfinals to district finals and 17, trials there, where 17 times she's improvising. So yes. This is like no end to perfection. This is a journey of perfection you're talking about. But what I feel is that you are also learning as you're mentoring her. And did you or someone else mention it the other day that the world champions write about 84 scripts until they finalize?
Yes. So yeah, I want to touch on the first point. Yes, when I'm mentoring someone, I learn so much, sometimes more than the mentee learns, because I'm learning how to communicate. I'm also learning from them because they bring some new ideas to the table. Sometimes I cannot think of those things and they bring it. And the words they use, the words are very effective. We need to learn I had to learn how to use the words precisely.
Fantastic. Yeah, and that's a game which is very critical if you come to functions like marketing, positioning yes. in startups, messaging in startups, creating pitch decks in startups. I'm just giving one example. But if students are writing statement of purpose, it's again a game of words. You're applying to university and whether or not you make it. And you talk about debates in Congress. The senators are making their case. Everywhere this game of words is critical, so you're dealing with a critical and essential life skill here.
Yes, the words we use can be very impactful. They have the power to change people's lives.
Yes, and you mentioned earlier that everybody has a message, and it is just that they don't know how to communicate effectively, and Toastmasters is doing that. So can you give me one example of this? How Toastmasters helped someone shape their message and it changed their life in some way?
Definitely. So I have my soul sister. Her name is Lindy McLean. Mm-hmm. So once she was giving a workshop, she said one thing which I really took it to my heart. Mm-hmm. She said, share that message with the audience which you want to hear. Mm. Share that message with the audience which you want to hear. And as I was thinking about it, it immediately gave me an idea about a speech. And the speech was, I'm enough, you are enough, we are enough.
Wow.
And the message is sometimes, there were certain times in my life that I did not feel that I was enough.
Right. No. This is truly a very spiritual, motivational message, and it's completely calming me down. Just thinking about the three words "I am enough" and "you are enough." It's bringing a lot of healing energy here. So that is the power of words. That's the power of speech, which changed your life. This is truly amazing. So Abhijeet, is there some other story which you want to showcase and inspire people to join Toastmasters or join the community, to which you're part of? You run 12 clubs, and um, what is that one incident, or what is that one message you can give them so they can get started with Toastmasters? A lot of youth don't know about this. They want to be a TED speaker, but they don't know that there is a platform called Toastmasters and what happens there.
I want to share this one story with you.
Mm-hmm.
I was wanted to become a program manager since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not have that confidence.
Mm.
And I just continued with what my job was. I was a senior engineer. I was really enjoying working on batteries.
Mm-hmm.
But then I met my friend recommended that I join Toastmasters. She said it would change my life.
Mm-hmm.
I used to see that poster for 3 years in my cafeteria at my work, but I never wanted to join Toastmasters.
Mm-hmm.
The reason was, when I was elected president of the Graduate Student Association, I had to give a speech. The only way I managed to give a speech was chugging the whole beer before getting on the stage. And when I sat down, I felt like, oh, I never want to do this again.
Mm.
But my friend was instrumental. She said, it will change your life. And because of her, I joined Toastmasters. And one thing really helped me was the mentors I had. They were very helpful, guiding me in the right direction. As I went along in my journey, my confidence increased. My way of organizing the thoughts was better and better. I was able to work on my impromptu speaking because I could organize my thoughts. I worked on many speeches. So this really helped me. And when the time came last year in August, I wanted to change my job and I really wanted to become a program manager. I applied for one and the things went very smoothly. I had developed the skills in the last few years, how I can become a better program manager, like communication skills, working with different people, influencing them, getting things done. All these things helped me to get that job.
This is so inspiring. I do life coaching, and I always meet people like you who, first of all, have trouble communicating. I mean, like you were a few years ago, not right now. Nobody can tell right now that you had trouble communicating or you had stage fear. Right now, you speak very fluently with a lot of confidence and clarity. But people like who you were a few years ago, before you joined Toastmasters, I'm always having trouble. What can I tell them to inspire them to improve their communication? Because they're so smart, they're so intelligent. The only thing holding them back is their communication skills. They don't know what impact they're having when they speak to someone. They're not able to get other people to see their point of view. They're not able to inspire others. So looks like you joining the Toastmasters Club gave you a big boost in your career. That is definitely a life-changing event. It's not just career. You're now coaching other people to join the bandwagon. And I'm seeing this pattern in a lot of people here where I did my Toastmasters Club. They become a vice president. They head the sales team. What happens when you do this club regularly? How come it is resulting in high salaries, big positions? Some of them became startup founders and got funding. I mean, seriously, what is going on? I know the mentorship is really powerful. What else do you think is happening there?
I want to share more details about my journey.
Sure.
When I started with my corporate club at NVIDIA,
Right.
and speak. Within 3 months, I got a chance to become a vice president of education for the club.
Mm-hmm.
When you are the vice president of education, you are responsible for the growth of each and every member in the club.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you are communicating with them. You are making sure they are giving speeches. So I'm also working on my speeches, but I'm also working with them to encourage them to give their own speeches. So here I'm developing my influencing skills.
Yeah.
And it's in my own club, in my own bubble. So that was the first step.
Mm.
The second step was I became a club coach for Cisco Speaks. At that moment, that was a struggling club. They had 10 members, but only 5 members used to show up in the club.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I went as a club coach there, I wanted to change the culture there. But now, when I'm influencing against the change. So it's a different kinds of influencing. So you have to have different ways of dealing with things. You have to learn different techniques, how you can influence them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was another learning experience where I had to take that club from 10 members to 25 members and to a thriving club in the district. Mm-hmm. That was a big learning. Mm-hmm. The next learning I had is when I had these good ideas, like I wanted to start clubs. I got this idea. There was this lady who joined my club. She was just married. She came from India. She was one of our employees' wife. And in 3 months, I saw such a big improvement in her. It was like, wow. It inspired me to start an empowerment club, empowerment women's club. That was my inspiration. Mm-hmm. So I was looking for a partner whom I can collaborate with. Mm-hmm. And then Renee and me collaborated together. We formed a big team of 8 or 9 people and started this women lead Toastmasters.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So doing these 3 different things, when you are trying to get a group of people together, 20, and buy into your vision, it's a different skill you need. Mm-hmm. So all these skills really helped me to build up in different stages.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is so similar to building your own organization. Yes. Let's say I want to do a startup. Every skill you mentioned, I need that. If I run a fundraising campaign, every skill you mentioned, I need. I should be able to influence people, come out of their shell, and make a change in their lives. And people are not acting. If they have to donate, they will not donate. If they have to go and participate in an event, they're in their shell. You have to nudge them. It's a very, very powerful way of getting people to impact. So these are tools for social impact, tools for impact in a lot of ways. So great. And what happened to the women's? What are the other things you did with this kind of skills? How did that go?
Yes. So I want to share another story with you. Mm-hmm. I was in my club and I just wanted to become a good speaker. I wanted to just work on my speaking skills. Mm-hmm. I told this to my mentor, Dennis. Dennis said, if you give a speech, few people will remember this speech. But if you become an area director, when you become an area director, you get a chance to influence over 100 fellow Toastmasters in 5 clubs. Mm-hmm. Not only that, you get many more opportunities to speak and share your message and work on your leadership skills. Right. And because of him, I became the area director for the 5 clubs. Mm-hmm. And you learn, because then you have 5 clubs with different cultures and you're helping them to take their skills to the next level. So it's another skill you have to learn. How do you manage different kinds of people or different clubs with different culture? Mm-hmm. So what I feel is Toastmasters is a playground. It's the gym where you can practice and hone all these skills. And another thing which my mentor says is, if you know how much you can get out of Toastmasters, you will never leave Toastmasters.
Yeah, I can see that because I know a couple of my friends, they joined Toastmasters. They were so busy doing the area level roles. And they did MBA from Wharton. After that, there's another mentor of mine. He got a very senior management position at Google. I mean, he doesn't have like a great pedigree. All he did was he very deeply involved himself in Toastmasters, came up with new models, and he's in a very senior. It's not easy to get into Google. It's one of the hardest job interviews to crack, and it's not easy to get into Wharton. There's another mentor of mine. He moved to Chicago. He headed the entire sales division, very large company. It's not easy to head sales in a large company, and everything is communication in sales. So I'm seeing one miracle after another. There's another lady, she got a director's role in a startup, hefty paycheck, really awesome job. So this is something which people are not exploring very well. What are some of the things people can do to explore deeply in Toastmasters, like some of the magic mantra you have learned, which other people can also follow?
There are a couple of steps I would like to tell. The first thing, visit few clubs. Understand which club's energy works with you.
Mm-hmm.
Find that club which gels with you. Once you know that, okay, this is a club I would like to join, find a good mentor. Someone who can help you in your journey, because once they can hold your hand and they can show you how to take that next step and level up your skills, that changes. That is the best way to start your journey.
Yeah, no, I did both of them, and can you believe for 10 years I'm still following my mentors. They have gone they've 100-fold leap in their life. They've gone to different level, their family wise, friends wise, social circle, everything wise. I'm still following them because they were so nice to me when I was making my first steps. They showed me so many different ways, things I could never imagine I could do. They made me do it. So even now they're like my friends. So I think you make really good friends in Toastmasters, isn't it?
Very good. Like the relationships you will make, they will last for a lifetime. I have people who are my mentors and my good friends, like Declan. Mm-hmm. Declan is the chief operating officer at a company. But learning besides him, we work together, we try to improve our skills. Whenever I was working on the speech, he was helping me in my speech. Now when he's working on his evaluation, I'm trying to give him small tips which can help him to win the district. So when we work together, he always keeps on guiding me. Hey, keep an attention to your professional life, how you can take that next leap. Mm-hmm. Because you are capable of it. Just start thinking. That small nudge really helps me. Like, I remember him telling me like 2 years ago, hey, you're a good program manager, you should look into that. And that stayed in my mind. And when the time came, I jumped into that. So having these mentors can really be very helpful.
So Abhijeet, if people like me, I have less time for Toastmasters, what can I contribute to the Toastmasters community? Because my day, most of it is I'm starting my own gigs, so my own business, my coaching business, and other things. So how can we be part of Toastmasters?
So one thing I would say is you can just belong to one club. You don't need to do too much. But whenever you do any role, your goal is to add value to people's life. I want to give you an example. There is my friend Ravi Adusumilli. Mm-hmm. He just takes a small role as a timer where you have to time the speeches. But he goes that extra mile. When I'm giving a speech, he will break down my speech into introduction of my speech, my body of my speech, and my conclusion of my speech. He's making that extra effort to add value. And once you get into that habit of adding value to people's lives, not only your life changes, you're changing other people's lives too.
Yeah, this is, that's one thing Toastmasters teaches you. Every role, no matter how small it seems, you can do it with a lot of creativity and a lot of energy, and it will make an impact. It definitely makes an impact. I used to make notes, and I became so good. I started writing blogs, then good speeches. Now I'm writing books. So the small thing of making note, nobody had the energy or enthusiasm. They were all speaking. Nobody was writing. Even today, writing or typing down notes is my biggest asset. If even when I'm in a board meeting, they're all really accomplished people. They say amazing things. They forget to note. So I'm making notes. So no job is big or small. Toastmasters teaches you that, because the president of the club is also doing note takes.
Yes, and you're making a very good point. Actually, Toastmaster teaches you how to take notes, especially when you are an evaluator.
Yes.
Like when you are an evaluator, you have to have critical listening, critical thinking.
Yes.
These are the skills you develop.
Yeah.
Another thing I learned is you don't need to get bogged down into the details when you are evaluating the speech.
Yeah.
You want to see what is going on and also bring your heart.
Yeah.
Your heart is very important when you are trying to motivate that speaker to take that next step.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with you. Most people who listen to talks, go to conferences, go to events, they're listening, and critical thinking hats are very much low. They're distracted, they're doing this and that. But the discipline of Toastmasters, where you're evaluating and you're also understanding the speech, you're trying to improve the speech. When we make that discipline, we go to the next level. When we attend an event, we come back as a person who is at the next level. You're not just going to an event like everyone else, you're doing something extra. And it's never left me, that part of Toastmasters. Even today at an event, I'm totally energized, because for me every meeting there is a Toastmaster in news telling me to do things. So this is amazing. So Abhijeet, you told me that you practice Vipassana form of meditation. You're so young and you've gotten into Vipassana. Can you tell other youngsters what they can get out of Vipassana? You are a graduate with job. You've got promoted, so you are pretty much by yourself, and you're practicing Vipassana, and very early in your life. What does Vipassana do to you? What did you learn from Vipassana?
Before I ever started on this meditation or Vipassana journey, I was a ping pong ball, just ping pong, like going very fast. I wanted to move really fast. But then Vipassana helped me to understand that stillness can change your life. And what Vipassana gave was the gift of stillness. Just staying at one place.
I can see that you are a speaker who uses very good, powerful silence and stillness, and it's created a whole rhythm in your speech, and it's almost theatrical, but it's very well crafted. It's definitely working for you as a speaker. So tell me more about that.
So Vipassana journey means the 10-day course where you don't speak with anyone. It was very hard for me. It was not easy. I remember on the 5th day or 6th day, I just wanted to run away, open the gates. But what I did when I went to Vipassana, I didn't drive by myself. I came with someone else. So I knew if something like that happens, I don't have a choice but to just stay there for 10 days. So I stayed there for 10 days. I completed my practice. And after I came back, I started meditating every day. As I started my journey, I felt that some things were changing. I could just sit back and not react to things. Just digest what was happening. And then assimilate and then give feedback or what is happening. So that stillness and be comfortable with it. That was the changing moment. Because I've seen, initially I was not comfortable with stillness. I want to give feedback, or the impulse would shoot so fast that I was not able to control it. But it gave me that poise. That is very effective. That's what we get from Vipassana, the gift of stillness.
Wow. And what I feel is your mind becomes your mentee. You go above the mind. Most of the time, we are in the mind. We don't realize we are stuck in our own thoughts, and our thoughts are creating this reality, and we think that is real. Sometimes it is very tumultuous. Sometimes it's very scary. But the thing is, the mind has created all this. It's not there. You have woven that story, and Vipassana brings you out of that story. Is what I'm thinking.
Very true. Yeah. I want to make this one more point. I read this book, Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. I have listened to that book for more than 15 times.
Wow.
That book helped me understand that I have a melodramatic mind. And And another thing help me understand is I am not my mind. I'm the experience who experiences that mind. I'm the experience who experiences that mind. When I disassociated my mind and myself, that was a big changing moment. It's like, I could just realize, my mind is going crazy right now. It's getting melodramatic.
Yeah, and they say that the purpose of mind is to help us survive. It's always finding flaws, and it's always trying to look for things which make you aggressive or which defend yourself from something. So it's a very scary place. That's how the mind is designed. So you break free of that, and you find this zone where you're not influenced by anything, and you're looking at world the way it is. It's very energizing, isn't it? The mind, it has a way of sapping energy. So this is
Very.
neutral spot is a very happy, energizing place. Amazing. So Abhijeet, you also mentioned you teach yoga. How did that happen in your life? Among all the other things you do, how did you get into teaching yoga?
That happened completely by accident. From 2015, I was doing regular yoga. I was to do 5 times a week. At NVIDIA, at my workplace, we have yoga every day. So I used to do it. But last year in May, they just said, we are going to stop all the classes. And yoga was such a big part of my life. I didn't want to lose it. At that moment, there is this employee, or there's my colleague. She said, she will come to my class if I teach. And because of her, I started teaching yoga. Silly comes to the class every day. And we practice for like 1.5 hours. In the starting, I was not very comfortable because I was afraid. What do I do next? What pose I'm going to do next? But now, doing it for a year, my practice has evolved. The depthness of the practice has evolved. I can stay in one pose for like 2 to 3 minutes. And staying in that discomfort is the change. It's the biggest change. Keeping that equanimity in that discomfort is what I'm trying to shoot for. And that is helping me in my life.
Fantastic. So I learned so much about, what it takes for you to have become such a good speaker today. Not only your core message, which is to serve others, but also you have practiced stillness in your and mind control, and yoga, which is giving you control on physical body. So you have practiced essentially physical and mental balance, and in your career it is giving you such a good boost. As a speaker, it is boosting you, and as a human being overall. So this is a great message, Abhijeet. Thank you so much for sharing this nugget of wisdom. I hope the listeners find this very useful. So Abhijeet, anything else you want to share with the audience?
Yes.
Core message, go ahead.
Yeah. One thing you touched on, I know you do a lot of workshops.
Yeah.
And when you keep on doing these workshops, the repetition really helps. Once you repeat, because you learn from every instance, you learn something. And when you incorporate that and apply it the next time, you become better and better and better. So one thing I've learned is practice is progress in Toastmasters. Keep on practicing. You can achieve anything if you keep on practicing.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody who gives 17 speeches revision to his mentee, I can imagine how perfect you will be in your own speech. So I will definitely take that. I'm going to be hosting many workshops this year. So this podcast was a very good mentorship session for me as well. With that, I very reluctantly want to wrap up this podcast. I'd love to have you back in a different role on this platform. You have so much to offer. But before that, any parting message to the audience which they can remember and revisit and rethink about?
One thing which is changing my life is when I serve others. When I help others, they help me. So I want you to get outside your bubble, help other people. It's going to help you to take that bigger and bigger leap. Serve others, serve yourself. That would be my message.
Wow. What an amazing message to wrap up the podcast with. This is a very universal message. It can solve lots of problems we are facing today in the world, the crisis we are in. serving ourselves and serving others and then serving ourselves. It's happening as a positive cycle. So let's keep that going. On that note, thank you, Abhijeet, for gracing this show, and wish you all the very best in your future endeavors at Toastmasters.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic.